What's happening, people? Welcome back to another episode of All You Can Eat Warriors. I'm your host, Levon, and I'm joined as always by my co host, Ash. And welcome, guys, into the show and a massive talking points to get through. But let's get into it just quickly. Ash, how you doing, my man? How's things been this week?
Yeah, good, brother. Trying to recover from the old flu, mate. My
Yeah.
voice sounds horrible. I apologize to all our viewers out there, but recovery is on its way. So, how about you, brother? How about you?
Yeah, doing good, man. I'm hanging in there too. I'm a little bit crook as well,
Yeah.
but yeah, we're hanging in there, and we got to make this happen because we know we've got a massive, massive night tonight. First Teamless Tuesday of the year officially. But welcoming everyone, especially off Instagram. We got my man Rani is in the house. Disco and
Woo!
Cobra, let's go. Welcome in Jordan Mirren. New quarter injured. Yeah, man, we're going to talk about that for sure. Ricky Waz, welcome in. Alex Jones, everyone that's coming in on Instagram, we appreciate you guys, and everyone on YouTube. And if you are here for the first time, guys, please give us a like and a subscribe. And also, appreciate you guys. Welcome in, Jacko. Kia ora campers. The beginning is nigh. It is. Winter is coming. What is it? Winter is here. Winter is here. Footy season is here. Big up, Stells, as always. Thank you for coming in. Happy TLT. Yeah, I love that. TLT, little bit of TLC for TLT. I love it. Teamless Tuesday. I love it. Um, is the coming in, bro, spewing about my dad. Absolutely, man. We're going to talk about that tonight. Nigel, Mr. No Mates, in Ngomates, before I knew what his name was. The mic's a bit quiet. Okay, we're trying to bump Ash up as much as we can. I know I'm at full capacity, but we will try. And kia ora, Tanya, welcome in. But thank you, everyone, for that as in here. We'll get to your comments as soon as we can. Look, starting point here, my friend. Teamless Tuesday. Let me, I suppose, read it out for now.
Mm-hmm.
We got from the top, Tain Tuopiki, fullback Dallin and Montoya are your wings. Rocco Berry and Tuivasa Sheck, RTS in your centres. Luke Metcalf and Sean Johnson. So Metcalf winning out that 5'8" spot. And
Yo.
then forwards, Adam Fennell, Blake Wade Egan, Mitchell Barnett. And in the back rows, you got Jackson Ford and Kurt Catewell and Tohu Harris are captain at lock. Now, this is an interesting one here, guys. The bench is consisting of Freddie Lussick, Tom Ale, Bunty R4, and Dylan Walker. So massive talking points there tonight. But Ash, what's your initial thoughts of that squad? Let us know what you think, brother.
Yeah, bro. Yeah, for round one squad, pretty strong. Obviously, really disappointing with a couple of injuries coming into the season. By the looks of it now, no chance in this one. No Murata, and obviously the dropping of Jazz Tavanga by the looks of it is a really strong talking point coming to this one because I in my strongest 17 I wouldn't say this is the way it goes, but I'm willing to see it and see how Webby really addresses what's going on here, what our rotations look like, because we got a pretty big bench by the looks of it. Aleb, Afoa, Dylan Walker will probably come on as a more foot speed from the middle with Tohu and all that. And Freddie Lussick in that 14, obviously he wants that rotation in that hooker role, man. And we would talk a little bit about it over in the preseason. We had a feeling this could be it. And we've now seen it on paper. So I don't know whether he's looking at that 60-20 minute split, 60 around that sort of I don't know. I'm curious to see what it looks like out in the field, if that makes sense. But I think it's strong overall for a first team list. What's your thoughts, man?
Yeah, that's the talking point off the top. I mean, we're all very familiar. I think everyone has settled on Metcalf.
Yeah.
My fan engagement online and has been pretty much Metcalf is the guy over Tamati. And I've come around to it. I was very Tamati to start off,
Yep.
but I'm in agreement with you. Metcalf is the way forward, and I'm happy with that. RTS as well. We saw that it was proof within it was in the pudding in that preseason that he
Mm-hmm.
was the right guy for that left center job, and so the starting 13 doesn't have any of those kind of issues or qualms for me. And I think over that preseason, and we've all come to agreement with that, just that bench now. And I think we need to isolate that bench a little bit because I think it says a lot about how we're going to play this season.
Yeah.
or until the next set of injuries. But especially if you're looking at Lussick as the 14 man, or technically 17, whatever number you want to put him, but he's pretty much cover for Egan.
Yeah.
Webby might be saying and is saying that he is Egan. That's another rotation that he wants to introduce in this season.
Yep.
Which I think we did. Yeah, we talked about it and we thought it might happen, and now it is kind of happening.
Yep.
Because even with Marata injured, if you didn't feel like you needed hooker cover, you would have put in Jazz
Yeah.
over Lussick, right? I think
Yeah.
most of us could agree with that.
Yep.
So this is intentional. I think even if Marata was healthy, Ale or Bunty would have dropped out, and Lussick would have still been on the bench.
Yep.
That's I think that would have happened.
That's exactly what I see, bro.
Yeah. So, what does that say in terms of game plan, bro? Is it? I suppose what's your thoughts in terms of how we're going to play?
Yeah, man. It's pretty like for me, it's a little bit up in the air because we have spoken about this before. Whether we've carried Freddie Lussick on the bench before, and we've carried him to no avail where he doesn't come on the field at all, and we play Wado for 4 minutes and he just sits fresh on the bench. So I'm really curious to see how he really involves him. And now with Dylan Walker in that spot of, that 13 that comes off the bench or whatever, he can cover multiple other different positions. I'm really curious to see their time between all these boys here. Like obviously Ale and Afoa will probably, Afoa's a bit of a different one for me. I'm still like him off the bench. I really don't know unless they do like what I've been talking about in the preseason. They start with Afoa. And Barnett goes to the bench, but Barnett still plays as like that starting, 60-minute frontier in that. For me, like everything I've discussed throughout this preseason, my strongest lineup was still had that Jazzy in that lineup in the interchange there. Freddie wouldn't be there at the moment, only because I've just never seen like the drop off will still always be there from Egan, and I don't think it's like crazy enough to carry Freddie there. But I'm really interested to see how Webby really injects Freddie in the best way possible, because I think we can all agree Freddie probably to me is more like a 80-minute type of hooker or a long minute type of hooker comparatively to a 20-minute just burst off the bench. So the rotations will be really, really interesting for me. Adam plays his 60 upwards. Tohu likes to get through some decent minutes. Catewell and Ford are both long minute forwards. Like, I'm really curious to see this rotation, man. Whether, Freddie even does get a taste of game time. I think he does. It's just I don't know how it looks, if that makes sense.
Yeah, and then you've got the good points there, and you've got the issue with, I suppose, Bunty. We've talked about it. We preferred him as a starter
Yeah,
over a bench player. I think, again, scenarios in place, context, he's probably a good guy to close out a game if you're up by a bit.
that's true. That's true.
You know what I mean? How
Yep,
I talked about Freddie. Freddie's great in terms of we're up by 20 or, up by a couple tries
yep,
and he can close out the game for you.
yep,
But then again, it's expecting a lot of work to be done early on by Egan and by the rest of it. That I suppose, yeah. But I think for me in this system, I think Ali is taking Marata's spot. I would say
yeah,
technically,
yep,
while Marata's out, and
yep,
then yeah, I think Bunty's kind of that again cover. But it would be really cool, and I think we should, when we come back on the post match on Friday,
yep,
look at the interchanges, observe what we saw and how they use them, because I
yep,
think that's pretty much how they want to play, and it'll be an indicator of what Webby wants to look at. If Lussick plays big minutes, then maybe that's an indicator too.
yeah,
All things considering, there's no HIAs and stuff, but yeah, it'd
exactly.
be real interesting to see that that bench. Yeah, a lot of talking here in the chat, guys. Tanya saying precautionary. Maybe Lussick gets the last 10 minutes. Yeah, I
Yeah,
good point there, Tans. And also, just it's whether Webby believes, and I think he's shown in the past that he can get away with 3-guy rotation. Like
yeah,
Ash has pointed out, our guys do play big minutes, so it's almost like I think the interesting thing we'll be looking at, especially Tohu's minutes and AFBs, and just I mean, we're in consensus kind of. We want to see their workload drop a little bit to maximize, their
Their
health.
season. Yeah.
But if we're seeing 70 minutes of Tohu again and 70s of Adam to win a game, which is what we saw in the back end, and it wasn't the greatest. Like these guys are pulling everything out to get into a final situation.
Yep.
I wonder how we're going to play that this year. But yeah, those are kind of initial thoughts.
Yeah.
Um,
I'm really curious on Arle too. This could be his massive opportunity because he had a
mm,
great preseason, looked amazing. This could be his massive opportunity to, when Morata comes healthy, to fight for that last bench spot and even look to the future to be the guy that takes over Adden. We've had all this talk on Zion, Maiuu, and all these other boys, but Tom Arle's had a great preseason. He's looked amazing. So this is his chance to really stamp his authority and just I feel like he's going to be a momentum play. If our momentum dies a little bit, just throw on Tom Arle and just that foot speed through the middle and the strength in his running. Hopefully, yeah. Hopefully he stamps his authority and wins a bench spot really for the future, I reckon.
yeah, this is a big one just to see between Bunty and Ali, and like exactly like you point out, waiting for Morata to come back. Who's your next man up?
Yeah.
Maybe let's cut a track to Jazz, bro. What do you think has put him out of the literally 17 coming from where he was last year?
Yep.
It's almost like he's the odd man out, similar in ways to Maire and Pompey. Was
Yep.
it the inclusion of Capewell that really shifted um, things, or was this maybe temporary, or what's your view?
I have a little feeling, and I don't know if I'm just being a little bit hazy because I enjoy watching Jazzy get out there and play footy and all that. I have a feeling, there's a lot of talk on him in the off season, him not being very impressed of his end of last year, and like him being injured, missing out on a lot of footy. I think maybe this could be a play of him getting himself back fit and healthy. Maybe like within the preseason he played, limited minutes in the Moldy game. He played a pretty like a limited game, a couple of errors in that second preseason trial, and that maybe he's not fully fit. Maybe he's not like really fully recovered from his rehab in the offseason and all that. He came back early for that final series and stuff like that from all accounts. So maybe it is just a play of just like Jazzy, get your fitness up. There will be a spot there for the future, or maybe this is just like Webby just looking at what happened in preseason. Arle and Afar were amazing for, that first trial, they were incredible. Second trial, they were very good. So, while Arle was, very decent or whatever. So, maybe it could have just been, Jazzy, you got to fight your spot back and just put the rocket up in him. I'm not too sure. But,
Yep.
yeah, these are the two options I've got going in my head. What's your thoughts, man? What do you reckon?
I think this is a kind of a clear move to a different style.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Webby's probably wants Ali and Bunty in size, which I thought was going to happen. Obviously, when you get Marata on the bench, then you have Walker, and yeah, Lussick is kind of some good points here by Jacko. Looks like Lussick may have won it. Sorry, T McKay is saying here Lussick and Jazz were fighting for Surinam's role this offseason, and Lussick won it. Yeah, it'd be
Yeah.
interesting to watch Lussick and I suppose observe how things went. But that's a good point. That is a good point, and it's competition. This is we have our favorites. We love guys and what they do, but at the end of the day, it's about whatever the coach feels is the best option. Now, Jazz isn't like he's overweight. He's not fit. He's ready.
Yeah.
So it's just a matter of, again, we've got Marata out so already, and maybe a Bunty and Ali weren't playing. Who knows? So
Yeah.
it's kind of just wait in the wings. You'll get your shot. But what's your view here? Shout out to Levon coming in. Could Lussick possibly keep Egan out of the fire for the first 20? I've always liked this style.
Yeah.
Yeah, but what's your view on that?
Yeah, man. Before I'll end off on my last little thought I've just had in my head. Then, maybe this is honestly just giving Freddie the, from all accounts he killed preseason. Apparently he went in there, he broke record, like he just looked amazing in preseason. So maybe this is just like, well done, brother. Like you've won that spot. As you kind of said before, Freddie just impressed in preseason and just won that spot off Bailey Sirenan and that. But with that, I really do enjoy like thinking about the look of, Wade Egan coming on with maybe a little bit of a more tired forward pack and that. Not that first 20 minutes of really tough Everyone's sort of fit. You know, everyone's starting to slow down after that 20-minute mark. Put Wade Egan on, and then that momentum will start to build. But I feel like also Wado maybe like builds his what do you call it? Like builds his aura over a game, if that makes sense. Like he'll do certain things very early on, then like go back to a certain different thing, and maybe that's the reason why like Wado's deceptiveness and the ruck really does work. Maybe I'm thinking about that a little bit too much. But also, yeah, I do love the thought of, because Lussick is a great defender, you know, by all accounts, from every time I've seen him play with us, he could definitely withstand that first 20 and then bring out attacking threat of Egan and all that just straight on. And momentum, that's the biggest thing, is a foot speed through the middle is what we have in this team, and I feel like that could play to our advantage in this game here. Especially
Yeah,
Blake Brayley is looking like he's probably going to be playing 80 through the middle
yeah,
as
yeah.
a hooker and that. So, yeah, I can see
Yeah,
that happening.
good point to leave on. I mean, we saw that in the Panthers game. I remember Lussick started and then
Mm,
Wade finished. So yeah, I like it. For whatever reason, Webby hasn't seen value in it enough.
yeah.
But yeah, I'm with a lot of you guys on there. Um, yeah, some good points here. Actually, just quickly, Stel's saying maybe preemptive because you might be planning to, but can you compare that with the Sharks team list? Yes, we are doing combined 17. Stels will go through
100%.
the Sharks list as well, and we'll do a combined 17. Be great to. This is a really good matchup to kind of compare squads. So yeah, and Styles again just saying Jazz needs to get his confidence back playing in Cup is if he wants an extension off contract this year. Oh, good point. Haven't been watching that. So yeah, this is a big year for him. We've talked about the bench a bit there. Let's go back to the starting 13.
Yep.
Yeah, it looks pretty good, man.
Yeah.
What's your initial thoughts? I suppose with the Metcalf and RTS, and maybe even Rocco Berry's locking in that spot. Tane
Yep.
as well at the back. Overall, you pretty happy?
Yeah, very happy, very happy. Looks very balanced on paper. As like to the end of last year, we were very right side reliant. This will look very balanced in my eyes. I think we're going to try and give Roger as much ball as possible as well to get himself into the game. Rocco looked amazing for that little stint in preseason, then he had to come off due to that little knock that he had. I'm really, really excited. Obviously, you know, Tane will be there to fill in the spot of Chansey and that, but he'll do a great job. Like, you know, he's got some really good footwork. I like his ball handling skills as well out the back and stuff like that. He's going to grow into someone really, really nice for us in the future. So it's just good to have time in his legs in first grade. Mets winning out that sixth role, I really do enjoy that. As I said, I've just been dreaming in the preseason, brother. Like, you know, kicking back, relaxing, just dreaming about how we're going to run our footy. Through the middle, you know, just line break central and having Rog just causing havoc and maybe a late offload to Mets open space. Like, you know, with that speed, man, like that's the one thing with our squad, like Mets just brings that speed and explosiveness that I just really, really love. And it's just unpredictable, if that makes sense. And, you know, hopefully, you know, the biggest thing with Mets is as long as he gets his defense in check and him and Jackson Ford actually build a combination, that's the one thing I'm really curious on, because that left side needs to start humming and pick up a little bit of weight off Shawnee's side.
Yeah, yeah, and I think we'll get a pretty clear view of it. Great to hear Metcalf's talking points in his interviews. I think they
Mm,
did a media day, might have been last week or this week, and just talking about, you know, he sees himself as a 7
yep,
in the future. We've talked about this, that we feel he could be the successor to SJ.
yep.
But you can already tell in the preseason he's done a lot of work with SJ, kind of guiding him, you know. And in the interview with Jazzy and Walker on Ice and YKTR, that was a really good
Mm,
one. If you get a chance, guys, to listen to that,
100%.
talking about cues and how they kind of read the game within the system. I think Metcalf's done a lot of work in the off season to really get to know the system a lot better,
Yep.
and working under the guidance of Webby and Sean. I think we're going to see a big improvement from him this year. So it's exciting, man. I think we've got a lot of consistency. I mean, a lot of the guys are healthy again.
Yep.
Um, um, Probably in the forwards. Kate, well, how do you think he'll go in his first debut for the club? How do you think he'll go?
I'm really, really excited to see how Catewell goes. Like on paper, through both sides here, he'll be up against Teague Wilton on that side. That usually has always been the Sharkies' like Achilles heel was that left side, obviously with Moylan that used to be there, and I still see that opportunity with Trindle. Like we'll get touch on the Sharkies a little bit later on, but I think he has good defensive reads, but he's still a smaller body that misses a ton of tackles. So I see Tiggy kind of dealing with that, and I see Curdy get on the outside of him a lot, and then running those like that 2-line block shape. Would look really, really nice in this game. So, but I think the biggest thing that we're going to love about KP, and I've heard from you in preseason and all that, is just his work ethic and his defensive know-how, his kick chase, like all the little things. And, I just can't wait to see Shawnee put a little nudge in behind and him be the first one to get there and score a meaty for us, bro, because he'll be at good odds, really.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And I think coming from again, I really learned a lot from that YKTR interview with Jazz
Yep.
and Dylan Walker talking about the system. And I suppose we'll be coming from the Panthers. A lot of that is already inbuilt. And so when we saw, okay, well, look, he didn't look out of place, it's because he's got a lot of that history, understanding the system and how they operate. So it's really nice to see a seamless transition.
Yep.
There's no real teething points, I don't feel, at least, and it feels pretty comfortable at the moment. And but yeah, while we're here, guys, shout out to Jose. Welcome in, brother. 29 watching, only 8 likes. Yo, hit that like button, yo. Thank you, guys. And if you are here for the first time, please give us a subscribe. We do appreciate your guys' support, and we do this every Tuesday night on All You Can Eat Warriors. But yeah, let's get those likes up. Let's try to get up to 20 if we can. That would be great.
That'd be awesome.
Thank you for you guys' support. And on Instagram, a few comments here from anyone. C Birch, any thoughts on having Cotter or Nikora in RL Fantasy? You a bit of a fantasy guy, Ash? Just quickly.
I'm a bit of a super coach guy, my man.
Okay.
A little bit different between the two, but very similar. You know what I mean? You pick your players and that, and you let them play. But so what was the question there? Nikora or
Cotter?
Or Cotter? To start with, I usually try to build cash to start the season. So, like, if you guys understand it for this question alone, if you understand this question, I usually go for my mid ranges and stuff and try to build with someone that I think is going to go well, and then I'll end the season with Nicola or that. Out of those two, I would go Nicola. I think he's got all the potential, just scores tries, like he can boost up those points all day. But when Fafita comes back, he's definitely someone I'm going to be chasing. So Dave Fafita and Brent Nicola is definitely in my eyes. So yeah, that's where I'll go about things.
Cool, beautiful. There you go, guys. Go for your fantasy and super coach advice to Ash on Ash Thomas on YouTube. Hit him up, brother.
Advice, baby.
Yeah, see advice, beautiful. Okay, let's move quick now into the Sharks team list. Look, just bringing it up here, bro. They're a very good team, hey. Like, look, fullback Will Kennedy, Sione Katoa, Jesse Ramian, Siosifa Talakai, and Mulatalo. I mean, that's been consistent for the last couple of years. I suppose the big one, getting rid of Moylan and bringing in Braden Trindle, who I thought had a great game in the Indigenous game, pairing with Nico Hines, surprisingly so, in halves pairing for the Sharks, which I think gives them a bit more consistency and settled in their approach, I suppose. Yep. Then you're going forwards, Oregon Kalfusi, Blake Brayley, Royce Hunt starting now. Britton Nikora, as always, Teague Wilton and Cameron McInnes. That's a big move from Finucane, and he's won the captain's role. Yeah, so maybe Finucane moving into a kind of a secondary role. Finucane actually in the 14, Jack Williams, 15, Rudolph in 16, and Hazelton. That's a big pack off the bench to deal with. Initial thoughts on that team, Ash?
Yeah, I'll just add to what you said, bro. Very, very strong on paper. This is the thing with the Sharkies, though. We've seen it in years past on paper, look amazing and that. Their biggest hump is very similar to our biggest hump, but in a bigger sort of terms than that is usually like top 8 opposition. Like at the moment, we struggle with top 4 opposition, if that makes sense. And a couple others like the Roosters and the Rabbitohs, we don't seem to get over the top of those sort of teams. The Sharkies are in a very similar vein, but if they click, they got one of the strongest potential at the lineup, like the best lineup in the competition. They just need the click. I think a lot of it does also come down to players like Mulatalo that have a slight error in them in really bad moments. Defensively, they can fall apart in moments too, which is so not like Craig Fitzgibbon. Like Craig Fitzgibbon, if you ever watched him growing up, like that guy was just strong. So I'm sure he's working with those boys and trying to fix all these areas. But what I'm really curious on is definitely this forward pack battle because the Sharkies do have a very strong forward pack, and as you touched on before, like their bench is very big, strong, mobile. I'm curious to see how our boys contend with that, and we
Mm.
just need to wrap on up on that ball. We touched on it in our last live stream and stuff. We don't want any lazy offloads all the time off the back of that because that's where I see Nico Hines and stuff like that really worrying us, especially second phase footy and short side footy with Nico Hines. That's really where I can see them worrying us. But very, very, very strong side.
Just off the top, and maybe I'm
Mm-hmm.
just a random thought. Do you think maybe Webby has gone with a bigger pack because of the offload and what happened against Brisbane? Do you think that that's an area that he's looking at and thinking we got badly exposed there?
Yep.
Because that pack to me looks like if it can get on top, yeah, the offload game has always been a kind of Achilles heel for us at the moment. That's a random thought. I don't know why,
No,
but
it's
maybe
definitely a
that.
good thought to chuck out there, bro.
Yeah,
I think, at times, I still think the boys, after a season that we've had under Webby, the boys grew so much in one season. I think another season under him, I felt like it did feel like that last game of the season wasn't, not where the wheels fell off, but I feel like, we did such a big push for that season. Then, everything sort of really fell off. We got some big boys that try to cover a lot of lateral movement from the middle. I've always seen it with the Warriors, last couple of years and stuff, is in behind the ruck we can get really found out in moments. But I'm sure Webby will really touch on that. And I can really see that with someone like Bunty and Ale or whatever coming off the bench. Freddie, maybe to shore up that
yeah,
middle when
yeah,
Egan comes off. I could see that really looking that way. So really good point to touch on there, bro.
yeah. And guys, just something to be aware of. Look at offloads this week. See if it's a carryover from last year in terms of teams game planning for it.
Yeah.
Um, for me, do you think defensively they will improve this year, Sharks, or do you think he just Fitzgibbon, because it's really a coaching thing and an attitude thing?
Yep.
Do you think Fitzgibbon will get a better result this year defensively from his team?
For me, it's still a wait and see. The one thing I do like about Fitzgibbon, it probably goes back on what a lot of people do say about him. Like, he sticks sturdy with a lot of players. I always believe that a team that plays together consistently and grows together, even though, like, sometimes weak points and that, like, they can get combinations where they can learn to trust each other, if that makes sense. Maybe over time, they'll just build this combination and just trust between each other. Like, we saw with Roger and Montoya, they obviously haven't had a lot of time to grow together in that. But if you have someone that's sturdy in the middle, like next year, it could just make you feel so much more comfortable on your wing and really focus on your assignments, not someone else's. And I feel like maybe that's the reason why Fitzy is not changing players around because you just want to have like a trust on the player on the inside. I,
Yeah.
I still have question marks on Trindle. I think
Hmm.
Trindle's
Yeah.
attack's amazing. Like I really do like Trindle in attacking that. And I say it to Sharks fans all the time. I don't think he fixes your defensive problems. If you think that Trindle is going to come in and be this defensive juggernaut that's going to hold
Yeah.
down your side with Talakai and Wilton, I don't think that's the way it's going to go. I still see that being the best attacking threat on that side
Yeah.
for sure in my eyes. So really, it's a wait to see, brother. It's a wait to see.
Yeah. I think if you're a Sharks fan, you've seen this pretty much core squad for the last couple of years,
Mm,
and you're saying to yourself, okay, same players, will it be the same thing? Turnstile in defense. I mean, you got rid of Moylan. How much more do you trust Trindle to be able to, So I think, like how much uptick you're going to get from Trindle defensively because we will target that.
yeah,
We know our right side attack.
yep.
So it'd be really interesting to see. Offensively, do you think they maintain what they've always been doing? I mean, they've always been a very strong offensive side when they're on front foot ball.
Yeah, 100%, man, 100%. I think when you have a halfback like Nico Hines, whether or not you believe he's a halfback or not, like he won Dally M at a halfback, gets his hand on the footy or a ton. He just reminds me of a point guard playing like basketball, playing footy, if that makes sense. He just touches the ball as much as he can. He gives early service to other players, just really picks out like little positions on the field and then he strikes. So I think that in attack, you can't fault him in attack. Like, they have attacking threats like Ramian, who's still so, like, I wouldn't say underrated, but doesn't get spoken about just as much as what he had in years past.
Yeah.
You got Talakai, who's legit an edge back role playing center that's running on that edge. So Rocco Rocco did a great job on him last time we versed
Yeah.
the Sharkies, but like it's still a big task every time you come up against Talakai and that. And then you got like Ronaldo, who had an incredible Pacific Championship game against the Aussie
Yeah.
Kangaroos. So
Yeah.
Britton Nikora runs like one of the best lines in the competition. Like, this team is stacked full of attacking threats. The one I'm really curious on is someone I've watched in the preseason too, Oregon Gafusi. He
Yep.
really, really strong player. Obviously, like if you watch the first game, the Sharks versus the Knights, that first hit up, I'm pretty sure it was him that took that first hit up and knocked out one of those Knights boys, which is really unfortunate to see. But
Yeah.
just a strong ball runner, bro. And to match him up with Royce Hunt to start the game, the boys are going to have a big defensive effort from the middle to really stop these guys from bending our line, because they have a lot of post-contact meter potential between those two.
Yeah. Big pack. And not to say, I think we've been on the other side of being a slightly lighter pack and proving that works.
Yep.
Be interesting though to see. Again, you got to be able to repeat the success you've had and how teams adapt. Shout out to It's the Bro. Content has been fire lately, boys. Thank you. Keep it up the wires. Thank you, It's the Bro.
Yeah.
Appreciate you, man. And Bryce Greaves, great point here, Bryce Greaves. If Luke has a big year, surely he is a target for the Sharks. 6 is a missing link for the Sharks. Yeah, and again, Luke is the world's his oyster if he has a great start to the season. And we've talked about it at lengths about signing him up early. We kind of do feel that he is the natural successor to SJ in the future. But yeah, if you're the Sharkies, hey, who knows? Fitzgibbon might be pulling him across the shed to say, "Hey, mate, how you doing? You've got to sign a contract here. Sign here."
And you should turn around and be like, "Hey, bro, you let me go." Like,
yeah, you let me go, man. Yeah. You don't want me, man. No, absolutely. Some really good points there. Alec Kennedy, I reckon he goes, yeah, on Kennedy, he is a very solid player. I've thought Kennedy's been pretty good consistently for the last couple of years. Yeah, so we're going to get into some combined 17 soon, which I think will be really cool.
Yep.
And Luke wants a 7 jersey. Bryce, he ain't getting it at the Sharkies. Yeah, good point there, Jacko. He is wanting to eventually be a 7, and you can hear it in his interviews that's very clearly what he wants. But Aussie, the appeal going back home, you never know what can happen. Things can change. But no, great points. Any more on the Sharks, bro, before we get into the combined 17?
No, nothing else too much really to worry about. Obviously, the usual guys, McGuinness and Finucane, just hard workers. Thomas
Hard
Hazelton,
workers.
big boy, coming off the bench. And yeah, just lastly touching on Will Kennedy and that. Where we say, they got attacking threat everywhere. They got the perfect fullback in Will Kennedy that's so sturdy every game. That doesn't need to be this crazy, outlandish attacking threat out back, but he does very similar things to what Chance does. You know what I mean? Gets through his work, pops up in the right moments. Doesn't run as much as Chancey in that, but yeah, it's just good to see him actually getting spoken about a lot more, because he's been underrated for a long time now.
Yeah, no, he has. Just my last thoughts on the Sharks is just a team on paper is just always looked dominant.
Yeah,
I mean, we'll go in the combined 17. You'll look on paper, you think shivers. I might sway to their side. But yeah, I feel it sits on the coach. He's had 2 massive fails, especially last year against the Roosters and the playoffs.
Yep.
That just were unacceptable. If I'm
100%.
the board at the Sharks, come from the esteemed Roosters under Robinson, big hype. I don't think he's totally lived up to it. But yeah, it will be a big test here at Mount Smart for him to get it off on the right foot. Otherwise, he might be getting into that talk, because they loved beating up on the small teams. They did, similar to us, like you mentioned. But they haven't proven themselves against a top 8 team. So
and
interesting times.
Quickly, lastly, when you say about they love beating up on the small teams, this year, bro, the small teams are a lot different this year. They've grown so much, so they really need to kick it into gear before they start really falling away. They got a really good draw this year. If this is not really a Sharkies preview and that. But if they don't kick it into gear, there's a lot of chat that could go around them and Craig Fitzgibbon and whether this is all the right choice. But hopefully it doesn't go this way, because I enjoy seeing the Sharkies go out and play well. It's just, that's really where it comes down to. They were good at beating up teams last year. Those teams got a lot better this year. So
Yep. And Jose here quickly, just back on the Warriors. With Pompey on the bench, is that hinting that Roger might not play a full 80? I think Pompey is in
18th
the
man, brother.
18th man. Okay.
Yep.
Um, hard to tell. I'm not too sure. What's your
So
thoughts on
really,
that?
he won't come on unless there's like a head knock or something like that. Um, so we can't really open up our 18th man unless there's a head knock or a
Yeah.
indiscretion or
I
something. So
think they have usually had Tane in that spot.
usually, yeah,
So I think they've been using a back a lot of the time to
yep,
cover. So if you bring Pompey on, say if a back goes down, you could shift Walker to the half. Like say Metcalf goes down, something you shift Walker to half. Oh, there's options. Yeah,
yeah,
I think Pompey covers well. I think that's probably an indication that Pompey can cover well,
yep,
meaning can go to center, can go to wing, um, or fit in wherever he may need to. So yeah,
yeah.
but yeah, there's a few options there. But good call, Jose. And Team Mackie was saying that possibly Tamaida might be the 18th. Yeah, it could change as well. Again, I think holding it back is good cover
Yep.
most of the time. And Jacko saying,
Well, we'll
yep.
brainstorm a little bit. Like you think, if Tane was a copperhead knock, you'd probably see maybe Shek go to fullback,
Yeah,
and Bomps would probably come
Pomps,
in.
that's another, yeah, that's
Yep.
another
If
option there.
if Metz goes down with a head knock, you probably see Tane go to the six role shot, Shek go fullback, and
Yeah,
Pomps
or
come in.
you
Like the
could go
cover could
Walker.
be
Yeah, you
very
could go Walker
Walker too.
to
Yep.
halves. If you want a defensive type thing. So yeah, there's heaps
Exactly.
of options. I think that's definitely what they're planning to do.
Yep.
Yeah, good points, Tanya, as well. Shout out to Tans. She's on Warrior Fan TV with Nick. No doubt they're going to have their quarter. Also follow Tans as well, guys, if you get a chance. Great stuff. Let's go now to the combined 17, guys. We're going to pull this up on our screens. Let me just quickly share. Um, Now, combined 17, if you're not familiar with the format, I'm sure you are. We go through each position and we select. Sorry, this is the wrong screen. Let me turn that one off. My apologies for some
Bookmarks, bro.
technical. Yeah, a little bit of technical difficulties. Sure,
All
here
good,
we
all
go.
good, bro.
Okay, here we go. And let's pull that up. Okay,
Let's go.
let's go. Here we go. So yeah, combined 17. We're doing it matchup for matchup. So we'll go left side center against right side center, or vice versa. So
Yep.
and then we'll talk about it at the end as well. But look, starting off, man, Tane Tuo Picky versus Will Kennedy. Who have you got,
Mm.
brother?
Unfortunately, like I love Taney so much, and I think he's got potential and all that. I'd have to sway Will Kennedy. He's done it for a lot longer in the NRL in this in first grade, so I have to sway that way. And he just complements, whoever he goes with, usually complements them very well. So going Will
Yep.
Kennedy over Tane, unfortunately.
Yeah, I'll sit with that, and that's we're giving value to the experience. There's no shame in that. And but Tane, very excited. Actually excited from this for a little 3-4 week run here. I think
100%.
it's going to be cool just to watch him continue to develop.
Yep.
But yeah, I'm with you. Kennedy wins that one at fullback. If it was Chance, who would you go?
If it was Chance,
Yeah,
coming off last year, I'll go Chance.
yeah,
I think
same.
Chance really grew into a great fullback last year. And just offered just a tiny bit more than Will Kennedy. Gets through all the tough stuff, but also he was getting that ball playing into him at the end of the season, which looked really, really nice. So
Yeah, I'm with you there. Let's go. So Dallin will go up against Ronaldo. Is that right?
Dal would go up against off
Yeah,
the top of
Ronaldo
my
on the
head.
left, I
Yep,
think.
Ronaldo. Yep,
Oh,
this is tough.
I'm going off. I mean, I love Ronaldo in the Kiwis jersey. I mean, I thought that was a massive, but in that Sharkies jersey,
Yeah.
I want to go
Yep.
Dells. But Ronaldo is awesome. Far out. This is a tricky one. Where are you going, bro?
I'm swaying towards Dal, coming off, the 20 tries off like 18 game season last year. Ronaldo has Dal still has an error in his game every so often and all that, but I've seen Ronaldo have some of the really biggest brain explosion errors in him. Like,
Yeah.
putting ball over the line, just dropping ball out of nowhere, like stuff like that, you know what I mean? Where, I just think Dal is an incredible finisher. If you want like a work rate sort of winger, like Ronaldo gets through his stuff, but I'm going Dal, bro. After what Dal did last year, I'll go Dal over Ronaldo at the moment.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm with you. I'm going Dales as well. Yeah, those errors that I've seen Ronaldo have, yeah, I'm in the same vein as you. I think he wins that out. So let's go to the opposite side. Montoya against Katoa. Well, that's a good matchup right there.
Mm,
I'm going to sway Katoa.
yep,
Personally, I like Katoa as a winger. I think he's very powerful. He does, but the argument would be he does have an error in him too.
yep,
Um, Montoya has had errors as well, so I'm gonna stick with Katoa on that one.
yep.
Where do you sit?
I was swaying a little bit more to Monty if they were going up against each other. More of like, I think Monty gets through a lot of tough stuff out of his backhand. He runs the ball hard. Like when it comes to like trying to finish tries, there's that many times where there's probably a couple of like covering defenders. He just bounces off them and just looks rock solid.
Yeah, true.
Sionik has that very similar thing. Sion is the quicker player out of the two. I just like, Monty's work rate out of the back end, probably a little bit more than Sione. I would just sway to Monty, but then again, yeah, I don't know if that's just my Warriors
No,
bias,
no.
but I can see that.
I think there's, and in the chat, Tanya's going and Jacko the same Montoya. So I don't know. I agree.
It is a
Actually,
tough one though, bro. It
it
is a
is.
tough one.
It's slightly different styles. But you're probably right. I think Montoya just a little bit more consistent for mine.
Yeah.
But Katoa, great finishing, all that type of stuff. A lot of speed, footwork. So yeah, really interesting. Okay, let's do this one. Rocco Berry versus Talakai.
Hmm.
What's your thoughts there, bro?
Tough, man. Really, really tough. Like, if I'm going, like, Rocco had a really good breakout season last year. I love Talakai. I understand there's a lot of stick on Talakai, but I feel like Talakai hasn't been put in a really good position either with, like, having Moylan inside of him with, like, Teague Wilton and them not figuring a
Yeah,
combination either. So, like, defensively, I can see that's why it doesn't go wrong in that. And I've seen Siffa have an amazing game. Like, the one that he had against Manly, I know that's a one-game size, but he does similar games during the week, but because we've seen that one game, we want to see that again and again and again. I probably see the attacking potential maybe just above Rocco. So I'm going to sway Siffa,
yeah.
just because you're bigger body and all that. But I think Rocco, if he continues on this trajectory, I can see him being one of the better centers and probably outdoing him. But Talakai is on me.
Yeah, it's actually funny. I think in this game, probably Rocco may have a better game,
Yep,
being at home. So I think, on this matchup, I think Rocco might edge him there. But you'd
yep,
say Talakai, based on his prowess offensively, when he's in for, when he's on his day, he's very good,
yep,
and powerful and dangerous. Probably a guy I'd like to see a little bit slimmer, or a little bit more in shape.
yeah,
Um, but Berry, feels very safe. Doesn't have the attacking prowess in terms of obviously different body shapes, different styles. But I got a feeling Berry will probably have the better game, and to shut down a lot of Talakai's movement. Again, just a great one to watch. I think both these center pairings are like a really good game to watch.
yeah.
But yeah, where do you? I'll say Talakai overall, but
Mm.
Berry in this matchup for me, I'd hold him up there for sure.
Yeah, I'd say like what Talakai is like here. I'd say like Barry, he's like growing to be about
Yeah,
here.
he will
You know what I
exceed it.
mean?
Yep, yep. No, I
Exactly.
agree with it. Um, Roger, this is a great one here. Roger versus Ramian.
Mm.
Um, now Roger, no history technically in the center role.
Yep.
Ramian with a lot of experience. This is just a great matchup. I just can't wait to see this.
I
Early
can't wait.
ball to Rog and just see how he deals with Ramian and vice versa.
Yep.
Where do you sit on this? And we're going off, I suppose, where we're at right now.
Yep.
Yeah, what's your thoughts?
By all accounts, what I've seen from Rog in the preseason, and if I'm going off that, like I think I said before, Jesse Ramian is still, like, for me, one a really underrated center. Like, I've always loved Jesse Ramian's game. I think he had like such a big year, like, what, 5 years ago, something like that, and he broke out in the scene, and everyone was like, Ramian's incredible, but Sheck, man, if Sheck can get to his, like, we know what Sheck can do. He's got that left foot step. He's got tackle break ability. It's, yeah, like, I got to go with Sheck, man. I got to. Sheck's too good, bro.
No respect for Ramian and his.
Bro, it's like, Ramian's incredible, man.
Yeah,
But, like,
yeah.
out of these two, man. Like, we got a Dally M winner here.
Yeah,
Like.
yo, RTS off the top straight away on Ramian. Yeah, I'm probably gonna go. Frig, I like Ramian. Everyone's RTS all day. Okay, no, I'm trying to be a bit more devil's advocate, but
Yeah.
I think RTS, the way he's looking right now, he's coming in hot. He's coming in super hot,
Yeah, 100%.
and we're not trying to be too biased here, but I think RTS probably pips him. Yeah, but a
Yeah.
matchup that I think they might even nullify each other for a period there. But shivers, it's going to be insane.
Yep.
Let's go to the halves here. Metcalf over Trindle. Well, not over. Let's wait.
Yep. Let's wait.
I think Metcalf beats him. I just think there's too much potential, speed.
Yep.
Trindle is good. I'm feeling Metcalf in this one. Where are you at, bro?
Yeah, if I'm looking at this on paper, I'm going Mets. But only because, like I know Trindle's wearing the 6, and for this halfback like this halves pairing, he's gonna have to be a more so 6, if that makes sense. Maybe to take a step back and let Nico kind of run the show and pop in where he can. But the more suited 6, in my opinion, is Mets, just because of his running game, his support play. I pretty much got Mets winning out on most all categories. If it was a sevens battle, I could see Trindle maybe cutting down a little bit of the, I just think Mets is a future superstar waiting to go. Where Trindle, for me, I think his potential could get to like a solid half. Like,
Yeah.
wouldn't say like Chad Townsend or something like that. You
Yeah,
know what I mean?
yeah.
Like, he's got like that ceiling to me, where I think Mets has the ceiling of like, I wouldn't say Walshy and all that. Like, Walshy's still young and all that, but you know what I mean? Just an explosive football player that's amazing to watch.
Yeah, I think it's kind of Metcalf's made up so much ground. Personally, I feel in the off season,
Yeah.
that he's coming in at a good level. That I feel, in this matchup, I think he wins out. But Trindle is reliable. I mean, he's got a proven record of being a good half.
Yeah.
Let's be honest, Metcalf was a bit rocks and diamonds at patches last year.
Yeah.
I'm excited to see him just have a consistent run. And what I saw in those preseason games was nice, just like controlled kicking game. Had his few moments. I mean, that intercept against the Tigers, but in general, I think with Sean around him, I think he's the right matchup there.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah. Agreed.
Okay, man, let's go to halves. Shawnee versus Nico Hines.
All right. Okay.
Where are you at, brother?
There
should be no hesitation, man.
This one for me is no hesitation. Like, it's the man in the picture in the back. Like, you know what I mean? You're talking to like one of the biggest SJ fans of all time. But if I'm going off like, just a career work, what SJ's done to the game, I know Nico Hines has won a Daily M, but please just listen to me. Like, Shawnee's done it internationally. He's done it. He's been to a grand final. He was one of our like solid players in that grand final that tried to bring us back against Manly in his first year of footy. Like, and he's had just moments throughout his career where he was absolutely incredible. Nico is the new Slice, if that makes sense. He's like doing amazing things now, but Shawnee's rejuvenated and he's looking very, very, very good. Like, he looks like he's on track to have another Daily M push this year. If everything goes well, his body holds up, I'm taking SJ. The Golden Boot winner. Like, he's a Golden Boot winner. You got to put more on that award to me.
Yeah, I'm with you. SJ all the way. Respect to Nico Hines, but just the season SJ's come off and continue success in this and what he's doing. But yeah, I think SJ wins out for sure.
Yeah, and just lastly, like, I know we're a Warriors potty and all that. Like, I love Nico Hines, and I think that Nico's been put under a lot of stick for, from what he's done for, 2 years now. He's new to halfback. He's getting out there, and he looks incredible on a football field. It's some of the best footy I love to watch is Nico Hines footy. He gives early ball to his, strike players. I think he's incredible, but just Shawnee, man. Like, Shawnee has had an incredible season last year and just done it on big stages, you know what I mean? Like,
Yep.
yeah, that's the way I go.
Yeah, thank you. And 40 guys in here in the chat. We appreciate you guys coming. If you are new here, please give us a like and a subscribe. It does help with our content. So 40 people, thank you very much for coming in here. We're trying our best to get to everyone. We appreciate you guys being in here with us. And good points here by Jack and Nico. Unproven. I think there's room for him to grow as well. He's not a finished product, but definitely a good player. So
I would say to that point though, is like he hasn't been put in
he
the
hasn't been put
position
in.
to really look good in any of those like rep
No,
sides. So
no, I agree with that. I think he's been a victim of poor management in
100%.
around him at times. So,
Yep.
no, definitely. Hey, let's go to the forwards. Adam Fennell-Blake versus Oregon. Kaufusi. What's your makeup?
How much
Hey?
time do you want to put on this? Fella? How much time do you want to put? So Oregon Kaufusi is a great player. No, like, bro, ads, bro, like ads all day. Like, would you put ads up in like top 3 front row in the competition? At worst, top 5. So I've got him all day.
Do you know much on Kaufusi? I haven't watched much of his game, but what's your read on Kaufusi there?
Yeah, good, strong ball runner. He's had a lot of potential for a long time now. Just had a bit of an injury run, so he hasn't seen a lot of first grade. But every time he's touched first grade, has looked very, very strong. You'll see him this weekend. You will notice him. I'll like you will. I don't think he's not as much of a high work rate as like an AFB or anything like that. But his touch is very similar to a Royce Hunt. A little bit like Royce's a lot bigger of a body and looks like every time Royce gets into contact, you go, oh. But Kaufusi has that same potential. So
okay,
yeah.
No, that was the easy one. We'll go now into Egan versus Brayley.
Yep.
I'm happy to go Egan off the top.
Yeah.
Same as here.
Yeah, bro. I'll go Egan. If this was 2 years ago, and it's not that I'm very hypercritical of Egan, but I would have swayed Brayley. I really like Brayley.
Yeah.
I think he does a lot of great work in that 80-minute role for the Sharkies and that. But what Wado did last year, he took a level jump that I see him just over the top of Blake Brayley at the moment.
Yeah. I'm totally. And Brayley, do you think he'll have a what's next? What does Brayley need to improve on in your view, or does he need to improve, or does he need more support?
It's really tough to say, bro, because like I think he gets through a ton of work and all that. I think it's more of like the role he's been put in. He doesn't really have like that rotational piece or anything that makes him look like he can be like he's got a good out of the ruck. He's solid in a lot of areas, but there's no massive standout with Brayley. I think he has really good service from ruck and that. I don't know whether that's just down to him playing 80 minutes every week and gets through the hard stuff.
Yeah.
Or like, we haven't seen him stand out in any little area. But I think he's a solid 9. Like he's
he is very good. No, I like a lot of his work. Okay, let's go to Barnett versus Royce Hunt. Rolls Royce. Tricky one here. And I suppose Hunt first time coming into the starting lineup, or kind of usually an impact player. What do you make of that?
Yeah, it's really pick your poison. Like, do you want like the impact player that will play 20, 30 and then probably get pulled off and you probably see him 10 minutes later on, like after half or something like that? Or do you want the guy that has probably a better skill set, in my opinion? Like, I think he's got better ball playing. I think he's got better footwork. Royce's got some nice footwork for a big body, but Barnett played a lot of edge back row and 13. He's like, can kick goals. Like, do I want to keep adding skills to his tree? It's like, as a 10, do we want to look at this as a front row, or do we want to look at it? Because, like, Barnett's great as a front row. I love him at front row, but, like, it's tough, man. Like, I'll sway towards Barnett because I rate Barnett highly due to his defensive work rate. What he gets through in defense, he looks aggressive in that. Royce has very similar thing, but Royce can get pulled off after 20 and won't see him again. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah. I'm the same with Barnett. I think he's class all around. And up against Royce Hunt, if that's his I think he beats Royce, and like
Yeah,
Royce still to be proven if he can play longer minutes.
yeah,
But Royce is that impact guy. I mean, if he was off the bench, maybe going up against like a Ali, then I'll go Royce. So,
yeah,
but starting up against Barnett, I think Barnett wins that one. Yeah.
100%.
um, Jacko Ford versus Britain Nikora. This is a good one.
This is a good one.
I'm pretty
This,
confident with Nikora. I mean, I'm
yeah,
a big Kiwis fan as well, but I just think he's just that good, eh?
yeah, 100%,
Hard,
bro. I
hard.
think
Like Jacko's great too. But I think Nikora just has that edge, line running, tackles, everything work rate. I think he's one of the really good back rowers in the NRL, in my view. Where are
100%,
you at with
bro.
that?
Yeah, I'm pretty much exactly where you're at, bro. Like, I know they're on opposite sides. Like, oh, they'll be against each other, but you know what I mean. If they were playing attacking sides, they'll be opposite sides.
Yeah.
But like, if we had a chance to pick up Britt Nikora, I think the Warriors would be like, yeah, come through,
Yeah,
brother. Like,
bro,
you
that
know what I
would be
mean?
insane.
Like, would
Yeah.
love to have you. So I'll put it as that way. Jacko's great, and Jacko for me is a sturdy edge back rower. I don't ever see Jacko being like a top 5 or anything like that back rower. Where I see Nicola being like a top 5 edge back rower, 100%.
And Jacko here saying, can't go past Jacko, guys. Come on. Yeah, you can't go past the namesake, man. It just really can't. But no, I'm with you on there, Nikora for sure. Capewell versus Teague Wilton. Shivers, where you going with this one, bro?
Me, going Cody Capes. Cody Capes has
Yeah.
done it on all the bigger stages. He's been to grand finals, won grand finals. I'm taking Cody Capes all day.
Yep, same here. I think Teague's a decent player, but from what I remember and what I know, just not at that level.
Nah,
So yeah, that will definitely be a channel I'd love to see Capewell work with SJ. Looking forward to that this weekend. Tohu
100%.
versus Cameron McInnes, captain on
Yeah.
captain. Who's your pick there, bro?
Yeah, I'll touch on first though. I love Cameron McInnes, but I just can't
Yep.
go away from our captain. Like Tohu has done it in our worst times, in our best times. He was at the Storm doing it in their best times. Like he's touched all the big stages and looked incredible every time he's run out there. You could run him at 6, you could run him at front row if you need to. Like McInnes has got all those same potentials in a way, but like McInnes for me is just a high work rate player. I think Tohu back in his younger years, like he was a little bit more than that, if that makes sense. Like he
Yeah,
had a
he
nice
was.
slight touch to his hand, like
Always had good touch. Yeah.
100%. So I'm going Tohu, bro.
Yep. No, same here. Going with the captain. Let's just recap that starting 13. So we went. So if you just keep count of the Sharkies. So
Yep.
Kennedy, we went Kennedy, Dallin, Rocco. We went RTS, and we went Montoya.
Yep.
Then we went Luke Metcalf and Sean. I think that's 6-1.
We're
And this
Warriors,
is this is like a decent Sharks side. And then we went in the forwards, Eden, Egan, Barnett. And we gave Nicola to them.
That's
And we went Cootie, Capes, and Toy. So what was that? 11-2.
I would
Oh
give,
mate,
I'll give the
we love our
Sharkies.
boys, don't we? No, but no, actually,
I'll
they're
give,
very good.
I'll give the Sharkies some credit. Like I reckon, out of like if Rocco was up against either Jesse Ramian or Talakai, like I could choose one of those boys over Rocco, really, if you have to. So maybe chuck up the third there. And Monty and
Yeah,
Seneca
we
Dye
do
is
ties.
fairly close. So we were
Maybe we'll
bouncing
do
both out
ties
there.
next time. Yeah, just to make it a bit fairer.
Yeah, yeah, 100%. So, we gave the opportunities there, but like it's this team, our team on paper is fairly strong as well. So, it's really, rosy colored glasses.
Yeah. Well, there's still some points to be given in the bench, so let's hit that right now.
100%.
Shivers. Let's go. How do we want to do the bench? Do you want to go our best player versus their best player, maybe, or do you want to just go Lussick against Finucane? Because I
Yeah,
think it's not really technically. That's how it's. Yeah. Let's do maybe. Who do you think our best player is, and who do you think their best player is
off the bench
off the bench right now?
would
Out of
be
those
Dylan
four.
Walker.
Yeah.
And their player would probably still be Dal Finucane, even though he's
Yeah.
slightly on a downtrend. Like, I love Thomas Hazelton and Toby Rudolph, but
Yeah.
Finucane's been there and done it.
Okay, Walker versus Finucane. Who have you got?
This is really, really
Okay.
tough. This is really, really tough.
Walker.
Really tough. I would go Walks at the moment only because what he offers right now is so much more than what Dale offers right now. But like if you're gonna take this probably a couple of years back, I would have took Dale Finucane all day of the week. Like I just love the work rate he gets through as a player. But Walker has more skills to his bow, like strings to his bow. Like
Yep.
I'd go Dilly Walks there. But
Yep.
if we're going as like a bench as a whole, brother, like would you? How many Sharkies would you carry on this bench in place of Warriors? What do you reckon?
I'm going Rudolph over Bunty.
Yep.
Because I'm getting more impact. And Hazelton probably over Ali at the moment. I like Hazelton's work. Don't know enough about Jack Williams over Lussick.
No.
But you probably could. I don't know. Yeah, I think you probably might find more value.
Yep.
In Williams. So there is a lot of I think overall, they have a pretty good bench there.
Yeah, I'd say they edge us there. Like if I was
Yeah.
to make a bench out of these bench here,
Yeah.
I'd probably go Dylan Walker at 14, and then it would be like Finucane, Rudolph, and Hazelton.
Yeah.
I think those boys are very, very strong. So I'll edge him on the bench. Yeah, it's up to Ale and all that. Prove us wrong, brother. Prove us
Yeah,
wrong.
yeah. Let's go. I think with the experience wise, 4 versus Rudolph.
I'm going Rudolph.
You go Rudolph. Yeah, I'm
I'll
going
go
Rudolph too. I think he's still got a lot in the tank, and
Yeah.
I like his impact play.
Is Anton going to be in our DMs after this?
Anton, if you're out there, bro, don't kill us.
Much love, brother. Much love.
Much love. I'll go Ali versus Hazelton. Is that the better matchup there?
Yeah, two young boys coming up. Yeah. Old Sways, Thomas Hazelton. Only just like from what I've seen of him, he looks like he's got the makings to be a really good like long minute front row.
Yeah, he does. Yeah, no, I would say the same.
Yeah.
Then we're probably going Freddie versus Jack Williams. Yeah. What's the read on Jack Williams?
Good player, solid player. I don't see him cracking a starting role or anything like that. Every time I see him, he always gives me vibes where I feel like he could play on the edge, but he always gets played on through the middle. Just looks like, just body shape looks like he suits the edge, but gets played through the middle and does some decent work. But he'll be on for like a 30-minute stint, and then you don't really see much of him again. And everything I have seen of him, he's very up and down. I don't see too much else to his game. I think he's solid, like defensively and all that, but yeah, other than that, like I think he's just a good bench player to carry on.
Yeah, so who you going in that one again? Sorry?
I would go.
Go Freddie Lussick, yo.
I'll go Freddie. I'll go Freddie.
We've done it tonight, guys. What was it 14-3?
Only because like
we're not biased. We're pure fans here. There's no bias. Yeah. No, I'm just.
If we were gonna carry anyone like do 1-for-1s, like that's tough, man. Because Jack has been around for ages too, but yeah,
I'm with you, bro. It'd probably go if you're making up a bench. It's 3-1 to them. Yeah. So that balances it out. And hey, good point. There'll probably be lulls in the game, and you'll just see how their bench operates and see how we match up with them. But yeah, I think that's a fair one. Let's just give them the 3 points. So what is that?
Would this have changed if Jazzy was on the bench?
Ooh, good point.
You know what I mean? Like
Jazz versus Jack Williams type thing, or just a total
go Jazzy all day. Like honestly, like for me, I would have Jazzy over Jack Williams, and this is like, Jazzy does have a couple of errors in his game, but like Jazzy has a lot of potential when he gets on there and he foot speed through the middle. Like he's nice. So
yeah.
I
probably would consider that type of thing.
Yeah.
Shout out to Khan saying no bias at all, brothers. You know what it is, brother. We try to be as pure as we can, but no, I do think. I mean, we watched our boys. You know enough about the Sharks. I know enough. I feel to say that I'm confident in our boys that they do win out a lot of those matchups.
Yep.
But yeah, we've given them the bench pretty much over ours, so that's a strong point for them.
Yep.
And I suppose they will accentuate that in their play. So good pull here by Jacko. Their bench is massive. It is huge size, but I feel pretty confident in our starting 13 that we're going to pretty much dominate in most areas. But yeah, Yeah. So
Yeah,
what was the
based on what
score
you
in
put on the
the
lap.
end? We got, I think it was like 13, maybe 13-4, or maybe 12-5,
Hey,
something like.
bro, we'll give double points for Britain Nicola because
Yeah.
honestly, I feel like that's the one place where I will get like worried at, his
Yeah.
line
Yeah.
running outside of Nico. That's where
Oh,
it's like, yeah,
and let's quickly talk about that edge, because I've got my concerns about that edge a little bit, in terms of excuse me. It's good. Solo, he's taken over the
there
stream.
we go.
Oh no,
Look at
here we
this
go.
guy.
Here we go. Okay, we're back. Yeah, I do have concerns about that left edge. I do want to see it. I mean, we've talked a little bit about Jacko and Metcalf offensively.
Yep.
Last year they did have some issues defensively as well. You're adding an RTS and Montoya going up against a Nikota and Ramian. Are you confident in our boys to do a job on that side defensively?
Yeah, I'd say like ticking off all the areas where I feel like we could struggle. I feel confident if the ball goes past Britain Nikota, I think we can cover that. I honestly think we could. I just think that Monty is going to look a lot better defensively with Sheck inside of him. I know this is going off a small sample size, but I was very, very impressed of, Roger just ticks the boxes for Monty very early on, so Monty can just focus on his man as
Yep.
much as
Yep.
possible. And then we even saw it when Bomps came on in our last trial. There was obvious like
There was a little bit of doubt there. Yep.
there
Yeah, a
was
little bit of
doubt
loss of
there.
trust. Yep.
But the big one really comes down to Metz and Jacko really D'ing up against Britain Nikota, because that is
Yep.
where it's going to be really tight.
Yep.
I I could I hope Rog doesn't over commit to try and help out a younger man, and
Okay.
maybe
Yep.
his first game doesn't really go that well. But I think he's smart enough. It's just really down to Jacko to push early and really to help out as much as he can, because
Yep.
Nikita, bro, is definitely their strike.
He
And
runs
I
hard.
honestly,
Yeah. He
yeah,
commits. He commits people in his
yeah,
runs for sure.
yeah.
Left side attack though. Looking on that flip side with Metcalf forward, and then RTS and Montoya. How confident you feel about that side attack wise?
Yeah, yeah, very, very confident. Again, I could see like when we talk about Moylan's defensive struggles, I haven't seen a lot of good things out of Nico Hines defensively either. Like I think he does a decent, okay job, but I don't think he's at like a good level, and I still see indecisiveness on that side too. So if the ball passes, obviously, Britt Nicola again that tries to cover as much as he can cover on that side. I think Sheck could do some really good work on
Mhm.
inside of those two boys there. Like,
Yep.
if Ramian pushes too far, I could see that left side step coming back in a couple of times and pumping off Nico. I could see that happen. And I could also see Gatoa making some really bad indecisive decisions as well.
Yep.
And then having Monty on the sideline. So attacking wise, I'm not too worried on that side. I think that we can do some good work. Jacko, I wouldn't be my first option though. That's the biggest thing. Is like I love Jacko when we give him good balls sometimes and stuff like that. I just hope Jacko's errors kind of tone down a little bit more and he just gets
Yep.
through his work rate through the middle. So that's my biggest thing.
Yeah, I'm just excited to see it. I think good point here by Jacko, saying that no side will be overly dominant. I would love. I'm looking forward to seeing that.
Yeah.
Left side, I mean, either Montoya or RTS or even Ford, Ford or Metcalf. How many tries you see coming down that left edge on
This
Friday?
season or in this game? This
It's
game,
in this game, yeah.
I could probably only, to be honest, I could see like one or two at most. I honestly see us going to the right side more so in this game. I'd see probably our left side open up a lot more later on in the season.
Mhm.
Maybe in the Storm game where there is still indecisiveness between like Meany starting early in a new position and all that. In this game, having like a Ramian, Hines, Nikita, and Qatar, they've defended with each other for a couple of years. I feel like it could still take a little bit for that.
Yep.
I see one good try out of it at least, honestly.
Yep.
But I just see us being right side in this game, if that makes sense.
Yeah,
To me, that's the biggest glaring issue for the Sharkies is right side.
yeah, I think they'll definitely have a plan of attack in terms of going down that right. So I would love to see some play set up for Metcalf, and
Yeah,
um, yeah, I'm just looking forward to it. I think
100%.
this is a great first matchup. Definitely a really good game. I like this as a first matchup
Yep.
even better than the Knights last year. I think this is probably a good one for a good indicator on where we're at.
Yeah.
SC Warriors saying left side should score first. Yeah, hey, you never know.
Hopefully.
But that would be lovely.
That'll be
RTS
nice.
at first, that'd be beautiful, man.
It'd be a big tick.
It would be big tick. Okay, man, let's just talk overall game plan, game style.
Yep.
How do you feel this game will go?
Hmm.
And yeah, strategically wise, how do you think how will we attack? What parts of the field,
Yep.
that type of thing?
Yeah, I see us maybe overwhelming them from our back end with like a lot of our players like Rog, Monty, like our back end work rate with all those boys to get out of our back end looks really, really good. Especially Rog picking up a lot of like penalties and stuff for holding down in the ruck. Like
Yep.
that's very enticing for us to get out of our back end. And then when we get into good attacking position, I honestly I think it goes back to the well. We go right, we go check out Berry, we're on Talakai and all that. That's where I really see us getting a lot of the upper hand. With the Sharkies, it honestly can come down to us in broken play. So,
Yep.
we've had troubles obviously with the offloads and stuff like that, but it's also the way the Sharks attack. They get those big bodies rolling from the middle, but they do it on tram lines. So they go like a two-pass shift onto edge back rollers. And what it does is it causes an open side shift to if like they want to go Raymond and Hines.
Yep.
Or you'll see Hines just go, bang, I'll just go down short side. He'll swing late, and then
Yes.
Ramian will have one-on-ones on an outside, and that's where I could see maybe Monty having some troubles again. So it's really going to test RTS there. So
Yeah, he'll get tested, I think.
yeah, so that's
Definitely
really
agree with it.
how I see it going, bro. Is like, when the bench comes on, hopefully we can hold out with a lot of these big boys that are going to be working a lot from the middle. They'll be working over Mets as much as they can, especially on those tram lines, as I said before. But yeah, that's where I see a lot of them. They'll attack that way, and they'll just attack with Britt Nikora as much as they can on Jackson Ford and Metcalf. I think that's the biggest weakness that I can see in our back line for them to attack.
Yeah. Yeah, some really good points here as well. Tanya's saying be interesting to see if RTS does that take on that roving role. I think he'll pretty much stay in his channels to start off with, Tans.
Yep.
Are you pretty much agree with that, bro? I
Yeah,
think he'll
100%.
he'll stay in their left channel
It's really
until
what you mean by it too. Like I feel like out of our back end, I can see Rog getting out for some scoots or one off
yeah,
the rucks and
yeah,
stuff like that. But
yeah,
when we're in attacking footy, I don't see Rog moving to be a second fullback sort of look. I don't see
yeah.
that. I see Rog staying on that left side, just working channels against Ramian and that.
Yeah, and shout out Joe. Late than never. How it lads, we are on. Yeah, we are definitely
We
on.
are on.
We are on. And Causa, good on you, brother. Good to see you. Up the
Yep.
wires, round one, baby. Hope you're both well. And shout out to Kane. Kane West is coming as well.
Let's go.
But yeah, welcoming everyone. Hey, 40 in the chat. Please get the likes up. We're trying to hit 20. We appreciate that. And if you are new here, give us a subscribe. We love your support. I see an area of maybe where we could attack would be definitely around the ruck. I mean, I love the look of Forrest run at Marker and Egan just going, come here, mate. And then just working
Yeah.
what we saw with Tane using that speed with Metcalf. There's a lot of speed in our sets. I think if we can get Rog on that front foot, I mean, you've seen it where Rog gets on that front foot and then we just hit, open it up back in one inside and then open up the field or attack back in behind as well. Just really looking forward. I think we can really get them around the ruck.
Yep.
I think there'll be some space there.
Yep.
But no, I'm pretty excited, man. What's your
That's a
thoughts on?
really good point. That's
Yeah,
a really good point.
I
I didn't
think
really think about. Yeah.
yeah, I think we'll get them around the ruck a little bit with Royce Hunt, Kafusi. Yeah, I think there's be a real intent to work in that space.
I think a
Hey, shout
massive
out Fanatics.
example.
Yeah, sorry, man. Shout out
No, you're
Fanatics.
right.
Welcome, man. And guys, if you missed the stream, we did a stream with Fanatics last week doing a preview. But yeah, no, shout out to Fanatics. Great to see you, man. Up the wires, yes, and we'll definitely catch up.
Shout
But
out
yeah,
Fanatics. Thank you,
give
brother.
us follow Fanatics, and we did me and Nash did a stream with our friend Brad as well. That was really cool.
That was
Covering a
really
lot of
good.
bases. Yeah. Sorry, back to your point there.
Yeah, bro. Like as a good example of what you're trying to touch on as well. Like we saw Rog connect with Shawnee with that late offload when he poked his nose through, and Shawnee of old would have chucked like three goosies, and
Yeah.
that Broncos highlight would have just happened all over again. But like, you know, I can see Mets doing something very similar,
Yeah, it could
especially
be.
with Rog on
Yeah.
that left side. You know what I mean? Like Mets could really swerve in and out. I don't know if Mets has a little goosey in him, but not like a Shawnee goosey. But I
Yeah.
can see something like that happening. But I like that look, man, because honestly,
Support
I
play.
just
Yeah.
dream of that attack.
Yeah, yeah, massive and support play. I think will be huge. But I definitely feel that we can get around them in the right. I'm really looking forward to RTS. Like he got some really nice offloading positions as well.
Yeah.
That our boys didn't really capitalize on. I think Metcalf was just a step too slow. But I think they'll get their timing and feel for how RTS moves and get a bit better at it.
Yep.
But that's definitely an area like, man, just hang off him. Metcalf will just be hanging around, sniffing around the ruck, and no, it's very, very cool. Khan here saying, expecting my personalized plates in the next couple of days. Hopefully they arrive before. Oh, mate, I have to get a
I'd have to
photo of
put
that
mine up. I
sometime.
got some nice
Oh, you got some
personalized
personals?
plates.
Oh,
I do. I do. I have the
love a
Warriors
good personalized
personalized
plate.
plates.
I might have to get one to put up on the wall back here.
Oh yeah.
So very good. Shout out Phonetics. Yeah. So Barry is all good despite Cal's concerns about injury. Yeah, I think Barry's holding up all right. I think Phonetics.
Yep.
Pretty confident that he's come out all right.
Yeah.
Just had a bruise on the eye. That type of thing. But Joe Villawavu, did you guys see Joey Marnie's flick passes? Says, can't wait to see RTS pull off stuff like
See,
that would be
I don't.
nice.
It would be nice, but
Yeah.
that was
That one
special,
was just the whoa, that was behind. That was a Sonny
bro.
Bill special, mate.
In
Yeah.
Vegas too, like when I touched on in my little TikTok or whatever that I pulled up of it, like in Vegas, I could see ESPN just playing that in their top tens. Like, bro, that was on a
Yeah.
different level. And the ankle breaker that he had on Cobo too. You see the side step that put Cobo to his knees. Oh,
Oh yeah, yeah. I saw that on TikTok. Some guy was
oh,
highlighting that. I was like, oh mate.
it was nasty. It was
Yeah, it
nasty.
was nasty. It's a shame he is probably going to go to rugby, but man, what a
Yeah,
talent! If this is the last year, man, we were just witnessing, a great player, and just
hundred
looking
percent.
forward to seeing more of him. um, yeah, Fanatics. We've talked about the bench a little bit. I suppose we've covered that ground. Sorry, my friend, but yeah, we feel pretty good. I think we confirmed Lussick was kind of is going to be that cover for Egan and maybe a mainstay for that bench. We'll
Yeah,
just have to monitor that. But it looks like start of the season, if you bring in Lussick straight away, it's pretty much saying he's our cover guy for Egan and potentially more. So yeah. But yeah, no, thanks for next. Yeah, watch it back later if you can, brother. But we'll move now into score prediction, man.
mm,
We did our combined 17.
yep.
We was like 12-6 or so. Jacko said based off that we should be winning by 30. Well, where do you sit, bro? Where are you for a score line? You let me know where you're at.
I'm sitting around the 24 to 12 mark. Those numbers are popping in my head. I could see us maybe conceding if it was like Britton Nicola, if you want to put your checkbooks out on it. But for us, I see Dal maybe having a really good game in this one. Maybe a couple of tries down his edge. And maybe finished off like by a little, offload from Rog for Mets for a nice little meaty. So yeah, 24 to 12 is where I'm sitting at the moment, bro. I think 1 to 12 is a very good look in this
Who's
one.
at the opener by Joseph Powell? Does that mean like started opening try scorer?
I
Was
don't
that
know.
what you read
Or
that?
who's coming to the opening game? I don't know. But if you want a first time try scorer, guys, little mitty. Um, go. Dell's probably going to be the favourite, so it's
Yeah,
not really
yeah,
anything
yeah.
crazy to say. But like, I see us attacking that edge really early. Maybe you could see a Cody Capes first try scorer. See what that's looking at because he could go short or maybe a little nudge in
Ooh,
behind. I
that's
like
a
that.
that's a hot one. I like that one.
Mm.
Um, yeah, thank you, Fanatics. Everyone liked the stream. Yep, thank you for that. We appreciate you liking the stream. Appreciate everyone coming in. Sorry, Joseph Powell. Sorry, boys. Will you be at the game? Oh, my apologies. No,
Oh,
I won't be at the game. Ash is based in Brisbane.
yeah,
Um,
bro.
you're gonna go to Magic Round, Ash?
Yeah, I'll be at Magic Round. I won't be at the Sunday game though, unfortunately. All my boys that booked a ticket, they wouldn't go on Sunday, which was like brother, but I'm turning up in my Warriors jersey, and we're gonna be the only tickets. All right, you're gonna have a mad giggle. So the only tickets that we could buy because the boys left it a little bit late. Well, it's still not late, but you know what I mean. On the Saturday was the Roosters fan base section. So we got
Oh
a
yeah.
group of boys. One's a Doggies fan, one's a Dolphins fan, one's a Titans fan, and obviously the Warriors boy. We're all gonna be in the Roosters fan base. You know, giving the Roosters some shit. So I like to settle that.
Lovely, lovely. Yeah. But Joseph, no, I won't be at the game, but I will be at some of the games this season. But we'll keep you posted when we are. Um, but yeah, we love to. I love catching up when I go out to Mount Smart, catching up with people. That I've met through social media. So,
Yeah.
but man, looks like it's going to be a sellout. Anyway, yeah, back to my scoreline. Similar to Tansi, I'm going 28. I'm going 28-20, something like that.
Yep.
I just do feel that they will get to that left edge at some point. I
Yep.
think nothing's going to be perfect, and I don't think we should expect perfect results straight away. But I think there will be some chances there to work that left edge. But I think there's plenty of points in us, and I think we'll have quite a dominant game that I feel confident that we'll get the win. But I just defensively, I think there's a little bit of room. I think even with the Dolphins and Tigers didn't fully stretch us across the field enough in those trials and still scored points.
Yep.
But overall, I'm pretty confident. But I just want to see that, and I'm happy if I'm proven wrong. But I just want to see Rog and some of his work on that edge with Ramian
Yeah.
and that. So that's my only real area of concern. But I think we cover them pretty well throughout the game.
I like that.
Yeah. SC Warrior, yeah. Wade Egan first try. Oof, that would be a beauty. Love to see
That's
Wade
not a
get some
bad
more.
one either. That's not
Yeah,
a
that
bad one
isn't a
either.
bad one. But yeah, no, very good. And shout out to Fanatics. Yeah, you will be there Magic Round on the Sunday. Very cool. No doubt you guys will probably catch it. I'm trying to get to Magic Round or Vegas next year. I'm trying to weigh up which one I want to save up for.
If Vegas, brother, that hopefully, as you know, we're trying. Me and my wife are trying for a baby, so
Yeah.
hopefully, if all goes well,
Yep.
maybe we'll have some money spare.
Yeah. Best wishes
Baby's first
for
trip.
Ash and that and big year for him. No doubt like the Warriors.
Yeah,
It'll be a big year, bro. But yeah, let's hope so.
hope so.
My friend, that pretty much wraps up all you can eat Warriors. I think we've covered most bases. Yeah, excited for the new year. For the
100%.
Yeah, man, ready for a massive year of
100%.
content. I mean, we both got a lot on.
Yep.
Yeah, I think it starts now. People really, content wise. I mean, I'm doing what I'm doing. I feel good in a good space and I really appreciate Ash. And if you haven't already, guys, go and subscribe to Ash on YouTube. Ash Thomas on TikTok as well, doing some really good stuff covering the NRL in general. So I'm
Sure.
very lucky to have you on, bro, and sharing your knowledge about pretty much all the teams. I try my best to get to it, but sometimes I definitely miss out. But so thank you for that. Yes, SC Warrior, where's New Quarter? Yeah, I think he is injured. Actually, just quickly on New Quarter, he does have a foot fracture from what I'm reading on the website. I've looked up foot fractures. It could be anywhere from 3 weeks to maybe 6 weeks or something like that. But
Yeah.
these guys are in hyper chambers and world class things. So yeah, yeah, guys, if you are about to leave, we're about to wrap up. Please give us a like before you leave. Hopefully you got to 20 and subscribe as well. Just click those buttons, please. We appreciate it. And Bryce Greaves saying Ash not bad for an Aussie. Hey, we love some of our Aussies, guys. But no,
Sure,
man,
Bala.
we appreciate you.
Appreciate you,
And
man.
Tans is saying, yeah, follow Ash on TikTok. Absolutely, man. Yeah, we will get a link in the description for the account on YouTube, and Khan, we'll get that in the description sorted out for anyone that is watching. Actually, Ash, if you can you try to type it in the chat? Anyway, we'll sort out 28
Yeah, we'll
likes.
sort it out.
Man, thank you, Fanatics. Thanks, Styles, for the stream. Boys, enjoyed it. I hope you guys get better soon. Yes, you can tell our voices are a little bit croaky.
Yeah.
We are on the meds. We're on the teas. I'm on the honey tea today.
How about we end it off, brother? How about we end it off? All you can eat. What's your sick meal? What's your sick meal?
It's definitely my wife been making me some soup, man.
Mm-hmm.
But boil up, man. If I can get a good boil up, man, I'm happy for a couple of days. Just reheats all the week.
Yep.
Doughboys, soft bones, man. If I can get all of that, that's just yeah, I'm very happy. What's your sick meal, brother?
Oh, me, a nice
Not
chicken and
Macca's
corn
or
soup. Oh, Macca's, bro.
no.
Yeah, 100%. No. No, I love a good soft drink when I'm sick, bro. A little bit of bubbly, just,
Yeah,
flip
yeah,
off the doctors. But, nah, chicken and corn soup, bro. On a good day,
yeah.
I love it. And on a sick day, bro, it does wonders. Just make it sweat it out. A good honey, too. Like, just honey on anything, bro. Like, honey's beautiful, so
No, it is.
that's the
Yeah,
way I go
always
about it,
get that
brother.
honey. Yeah, thanks
100%.
everyone for coming in. If you are signing off, thank you, Joe. Rest up. We'll get some more rest into us. And hey, guys, before you leave, I know there's still 42 of you here. We are going to be live on Friday night, straight after the game, so around 10:15, 10:30ish. We'll keep you posted on Instagram and on YouTube. But yeah, come in for that late night quarter. We'll be doing the full credit to the boys, the post match. So we'll see you guys on Friday night.
That'll
But
be
thank you
awesome.
everyone for coming in. We appreciate you guys' support. Thank you, Fanatics. Thank you everyone on Instagram as well. Yeah,
Appreciate
yeah, I'll take that boil up offer for. I love a good boil up.
it.
It soothes the soul. It's like soul food. It's the Māori soul food, obviously.
The soul food.
But I appreciate everyone coming in. But thank you guys. We'll catch you on Friday. See you at the post match, 10:15 p.m. New Zealand time. And again, subscribe to us and to Ash's stuff. Appreciate you guys. Up the wires.